Hi, this video is for parents who have children in remote learning right now in the new Paltz District. Actually, any parents who have children remote learning. And this video is a little more advanced, but it will show you how to update your entire home network to block harmful content. And we do that using something called OpenDNS. So I'm just going to walk through a couple of things. What is it? What is OpenDNS? And how do I set it up? So first of all, what is OpenDNS? It's basically a free tool that does two major things. One, it blocks phishing websites, and those are like fake websites that are set up to capture your personal information. So sometimes people will set up a fake Facebook website. It looks like Facebook, but when you log in, they steal your username and password. They do this with banks as well. And this will ensure that you don't run into any of those websites. And the second thing it does is it also blocks adult websites and adult content. And it blocks all of that for your entire home network. So anything that's connected to your Wi-Fi, really. What it won't block is devices that are connected to a cellular network, right? So those would not be connected to your Wi-Fi. Those are connected to the cellular network. So just keep that in mind. Okay. When you visit a website that is blocked by OpenDNS, you'll get a page that looks like this. OpenDNS is owned by Cisco, so you get the Cisco logo, and it will tell you why the website was blocked, give you a little bit of information about it. And just so you have some background information, if you're curious, OpenDNS is owned by Cisco, and OpenDNS was created around 2007, but they were bought by Cisco in 2015. Cisco offers a whole bunch of paid products for businesses mainly. But they do have a free tool called FamilyShield, and that's what we're going to be walking through in this video. The website is there below, and I've also got it in the links in the video details. So you'll need a couple of things to set up your OpenDNS on your home network. First of all, you need your router username and password. And secondly, you need the IP address of your router, and I'll show you how to get those things. So first of all, what is a router? The router is generally like a either black or white box that's connected to your cable connection in your house. Looks something like this. In the New Paltz area, a lot of us have Spectrum, and they use these Aris routers. If you've never logged into your router before, there's a good chance it's still set to use the default username and password. And for these routers, the wonderful username and password is just admin and password. So you can try those. If they don't work, or if you don't have an Aris router, you can maybe look on the label of the router. Oftentimes the username and password is printed right on it. And if that doesn't work, you can search for the default username and password at this website below, which is just routerpasswords.com. So on that website, you can select the model and make of your router, and it will tell you what the username and password is. Again, this link is also in the video description. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to find your IP address of your router using a Mac. So if you have a Mac, you're going to go up to the Apple icon in the upper left-hand corner and choose System Preferences. Okay, you're going to get this box here with all of your preferences, and you're going to look for Network. Okay, that's this blue icon here. I'm going to click on Network, and you'll see that I'm connected to my Wi-Fi connection here. Okay, that one's selected right now. And that's the one that you want to have selected. And you want to go over to the Advanced button in the lower right-hand corner. So I'm going to click on Advanced, and then I'm going to click on the second tab here, which is TCP/IP. And this is going to give me the IP, or Internet Protocol, address for my router. So it usually starts with a 192. So in my case, it's 192.168.0.1. So you want to copy that down. So write that down somewhere, because you're going to use that in a few minutes. Okay, and if you're on a Windows computer, you can get the IP address of your router by going to the search box and typing in command prompt. It's 2 words. And you'll see this icon here, command prompt app, which when you double click on it, it looks a little bit daunting, but this is pretty straightforward. So we're just going to type in one command, and it is all lowercase ipconfig. That's ipconfig, and hit return. Okay, and that's going to give you a bunch of information. The one that you're interested in is this last item here, default gateway. So that's your router, and the number that we're looking for is always this series of 4 digits, or 4 numbers. So 10.211.55.1 is the number that we're looking for. You can ignore this very long series of numbers and letters above it. So this is what you're going to write down. So copy that down, and we'll use that in the next step. Okay, so now that I have my router username and password, and I have my router IP address, I'm going to open up my web browser. I can use any web browser, and I'm going to type in the IP address of my router. So in my case, it's 192.168.0.1, and then I'm going to hit return. And what that's going to do is it's going to connect to my ARIS router, and it's going to ask me for my username and password. So I'm going to type those in, and it's going to take me to my router settings page. Okay, and when I'm logged in to my router settings page, you'll see I have a whole bunch of tabs up here. The one that you're interested in clicking on is LAN setup. Okay, and when we scroll down, we're going to look for something called DNS, because we're changing the DNS for a router. So right now it's configured to use Spectrum's DNS, but I want to update it to use the OpenDNS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this Enable DNS Override. Okay, and now I have to give it some numbers to use. So this is where we go to OpenDNS and we get their information. So I'm going to open up a new tab here, and I'm going to type in opendns.com. And if you want more information about it, there's plenty on here, but what we're looking for is under consumer, and I'm going to scroll down here. You see there are quite a few consumer products, but the one that we're interested in is this free one, which is called FamilyShield, and there's a setup guide here. So if you want to if you run into issues and you want to run through the tutorials here, there are tutorials for routers, but also for computers and phones as well. But what we're interested in on this page are these 2 numbers. So this is the primary DNS, and this is the secondary DNS. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the primary, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to go back to my settings, and I'm going to paste that in there. Okay, this is pasted in from before when I was testing this, but I'm going to just go ahead and do it again anyway. So I'm going to copy secondary DNS, and I'm going to paste this in here. Okay. All right, and then once that's saved, I'm going to hit apply. And this may take a few minutes. Sometimes the router needs to reset when changes are made, so just be patient. You may need to disconnect from your Wi-Fi and reconnect, but after a minute or two it should be back up and running. So once that's saved, then you should be all set. One way to test if it's working is if you go back here to the FamilyShield website, there's a test your settings box right here. If you click on this link right here, and it'll open up a new page, and it will tell you if it's been updated or not, if it's actually working. So if you see this little checkbox, then you're in good shape. You can also click on this internetbadguys.com and to get an example of what a blocked website looks like. So, and if it isn't set up correctly, then these pages will tell you when you click on them. But that's pretty much it for setting it up. So again, any device that you connect to your router now should be protected. I hope that helps. If you have questions, feel free to email me or put questions and comments in the comments box below. Thanks.